Hey folks, Douglas Trevino, Coldwell Banker, Realtor here in Southwest Florida. It's an awesome day here, February 19th, and 71 degrees out, blue skies. Hey, you know what? We're in Florida. It's awesome. Wanted to shoot a quick video on the way into the office. I've got a listing appointment later today, but I have a moment. Want to talk. I had actually a phone conversation this morning with a seller of a property that their property was listed. They hired an agent to sell their property, and the agent didn't do what they were hired to do. They didn't sell the property. And it was funny because I'm talking to them about exactly, what their thoughts are, why they thought it didn't sell, what they think could have been, or what could have been done differently. I feel like it's Monday. But anyway, what they could have done differently. And they said, no, the agent did everything they were supposed to, or they could have done. So, amazing. So you have an unsaleable property. That's kind of what I was thinking. I was like, okay, well, they did everything they were supposed to do, but they didn't sell the property. However, other properties are selling in there. And so I'm not sure what the logic is on that one. The problem with a lot of these agents out here, not all of them, but a lot of these, especially when we're talking about expired listings, is the sellers are fed, lines to, I think a lot of agents love to keep listings. Maybe they just like to have it on their books to be able to go and get more listings and say, well, look, I've got, 25 listings. And I hear that from sellers a lot. Well, how many listings do you have? Well, what does that mean? How many listings do I, they're not even, I think they just spout out questions just because they think it's just the standard thing to ask. Like, okay, a lot of listings equates having, good sales record or something, and I do carry listings. However, to ask that as some sort of a qualification it doesn't make any sense. Real question, okay, should be, what's your average time on the market for your listings? Now that's a real question. Okay, because if somebody turns around and carries 10 to 15 listings at a time, rotates those out, gets them sold within 30 to 60 days or 90 days, and then fills the pipe again and is able to get more listings on board, that's the agent that I want more than the agent who's carrying 15, 20, 25 listings with an average day on market of over 200 days. What does that tell me? It tells me they're a passive agent. They put it on the MLS and the number of websites out there and absolutely kick back with their hands behind their head and go, come on, agents, bring me some action. They do nothing. They're not a proactive agent. They're not out there trying to find a buyer, and they're not out there working for that 6%. You know what they're working for? They're working for the 3%, or if they're charging 6%. Some agent will charge 7%, depending on the property. Some charge a little bit less, depending on the property and the amount of work they have to do. So let's say it's a 6% deal. They're not all that way, but let's say one is a 6% deal as an example. Like I said, that agent, let's say they split it 50-50, they're going to turn around and work hard for that 3%. And I say that tongue-in-cheek because essentially they just do administrative work. They put it online, that's it. Field calls, potentially, have an assistant, do field open houses, maybe, and that's it. What you want is an agent who's going to work hard for their full percent, what the seller is paying that agent. Whatever that agent does with that percentage, however they do, that's up to that agent to figure out how to sell that property. I particularly myself, I work hard for my full commission. My first goal is to bring the buyer. So that's my goal, and I'm very active, and there's a lot of agents out there like me. We work very, very hard, and we do this full time. We're not a part-time agent. Okay, we're not in politics on the side, or we're, working a part-time job at a restaurant or something. And this is what I do full-time, day in, day out, and have done so for over 15 years. I love real estate. So when you get with an agent, make sure that they're working daily, proactively to get you a buyer. Okay, and targeting specific brokerages, other brokerages, targeting their buyer pool, making phone calls, for crying out loud. I mean, some basic things like that. If that agent isn't making at least 80 to 100 phone calls a day trying to get that buyer on board for that, that agent's listings, they're doing something wrong. Okay, they're very passive. And in my mind, not working hard. And especially when you get into the high-end luxury estates, your marketing better be stepped up to the degree that it needs to be able to provide and bring a buyer to the table. And by that, I mean, especially with Coldwell Banker, having access to international buyers, which is our biggest contingent down here in Southwest Florida. Not just international buyers, but international buyers who are qualified buyers and who are specifically looking in the areas that, you know, my listings are. You're taking a listing. If you're out in Bonita Beach, or you're out in you know, Naples, or you're out here in South Fort Myers or in Fort Myers, and you have a high-end luxury property, you better darn well be marketing to those people who are looking out here and who have the money and the funds and the qualification to purchase. And if you're not exposing your estate to the world, okay, you know, the best price is of absolutely no value without a strong marketing plan. Just like the strongest marketing plan is of absolutely no value without a marketable price. You have to market the property correctly. You have to price the property correctly. Sitting and saying, well, Mr. Seller, the market shows that your property is worth X dollar amount, competitively priced, we could put it here. A lot of agents don't do that. They'll turn around and the seller says, well, I want this dollar amount for my property, my estate, and I don't want to take any less than that. And if that agent looks and says, well, we're way beyond what any reasonable person is going to look at, or even potentially we're going to turn off a lot of buyers, they're not even going to make an offer on our property, and the agent still says, okay, but I'll do it, I'll list your property. And they're not aggressive, they don't come back with price reductions, they don't come back with facts to back up what they're talking about. That's the reason we have a lot of expired listings. And that's why sellers get frustrated, because they're not dealing with an agent who will tell them like it is, be aggressive, and be forthright. You know, and that's what we have to be as agents, forthright. We know the market. We should know the market. You darn well better know the market if you're in this industry. And if you do not, you're doing your seller a disservice, and you're doing our industry a disservice, because you're giving the perception to homeowners and sellers that we don't know what we're doing. You're giving the perception that we could be pushed around, apparently, because, well, hell, if the seller could do it, right, they'd be able to market like we do and get out there and bang it out. But they're coming to us for our expertise and our professionalism and our brutal forthrightness. You know, here's what it is, and this is the interpretation of the market that, you know, as it stands for that particular agent. So you need to look for an aggressive agent, someone who knows the market, someone who has a lower average day on market for their listings, because they get the top dollar in the shortest amount of time. They don't list properties to list properties just to take it and use it as leverage to go get the next listing. You know, hey, you know, I've got 10 properties listed, each for over $2 million. Oh, well, this guy must know what he's doing because he has these listings and these contacts. That's great, absolutely. But when 60% of those expire, they don't sell, because you're not out selling them, you're out just listing them. It's a big difference. Personally, I take listings to sell them. That's my goal, and that should be the goal, and that is the goal. I mean, why else would you do it? So if you're a seller and you're looking for an agent, an aggressive agent, look for an aggressive agent, number one. Number two, make sure they're with a company that is going to suit your estate or your property. If you're down here in Southwest Florida, make sure you look at a company like Coldwell Banker that markets heavily internationally. And we have 96% name brand recognition. You know, if somebody's sitting over in Spain or Portugal or Germany or Canada, by the way, we have over 300 offices in Canada. If they're up there and they're looking, are they always looking, I mean, are they going to find the local brokerage down here? Or for security purposes, are they looking for a name brand that over 100 years carries quality, carries a sense of trust? We've been here long enough, and we know what we're doing. Coldwell Banker is the #1 real estate company worldwide. We have the most sales in Florida than any other company. So we've been doing this long enough. We know what we're doing, and you know, I would definitely turn around and say that I'm in traffic here in Fort Myers, so gotta be careful. Gotta be careful. Gotta watch the road. But anyway, make sure you find that agent that's aggressive. Make sure you go with the company that's going to carry some weight, and and that you can rely on. So that's my 2 cents. I've just got onto the island here, heading to our Fort Myers Beach office. And that's it for my video today. So hopefully relayed some valuable information. If you have any questions or concerns, feel free to email me at douglas@douglastrevino.com. If you agree, disagree, what have you, I'm happy to listen to feedback. That's my 2 cents, and that's what she wrote. Have a good day wherever you are. We're enjoying some good weather in Southwest Florida. If you're not here and you're planning on vacation, get down here. It's a good time to be here. Have a great day. Bye-bye.